step forward.
Is this what we doing? Really? Really? You niggas fucking my intro. That's crazy. Be your own people. It be your own people.
That's fantastic.
It's not very, very
That's
P
fantastic.
of you.
That's fantastic.
Welcome back to another episode of the Then and Now podcast. I'm here, C. Diesel, one of your co-hosts, with my illustrious co-host. To the right of me, I have Mr. King of the Comics, Professor E. Ethan Murphy. And to the left of me, I have Mr. Lelouch V. How you doing today, brothers?
Good, Reverend. A Pastor Deacon, Dr. Doug. We are good. It is hot. It is Sunday. And the collard greens are getting warm. Sir, how are you?
Oh, wait, okay. My collard greens aren't warm yet. The yams are warm for sure. The yams are good. They're warm.
The yams are warm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
They're
getting there. Guys, I have a friend today, a very special friend. One of my OGs, I like to call him. This is the man with the most soul I've ever met in my entire life. Guys, we have a treat for you today. We have Mr. Captain Perry, Mr. NU, Mr. Philip J. Fry himself, Mr. Nicholas Perry is here with us today, guys. Bring my boy on up for me.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's poppin'? How y'all doing today?
Cool as hell, boy.
Most definitely. You know, I'm laid back. I'm chill. You know what I'm saying? It's my 30th year, so I'm turning into a new chapter for myself. So I had to switch it up. Clean shaved hair. I'm growing the hair back out, but yeah.
So are you choosing violence less now? Is the question?
It depends. I'm choosing violence selectively now. It used to be all the time. Now it's just like I'll just give you a pass because you're a child.
He keeps the black sources in the back of the closet instead of the front now.
Oh, absolutely. I keep the Stacey Adams right next to me at this point.
Stacey Adams, he is growing up.
Right
oh yeah.
Right
Not the Stacey's.
Yeah,
guys,
I just want to point out that he's growing up. He's getting older. He's still a full decade younger than me. Just had to point that out right quick.
We get it, man. My man is older than Galatians. It's cool. We love you for it, though. We love you for
or Leviticus.
Or Leviticus.
Oh, Leviticus.
My chest.
Guys, let's go ahead. We got a comment already. That's my boy Craig. My boy Craig Turner is here. What up, my boy?
Craig, here, buddy.
How you doing, brother?
Let's go ahead and get into the show, guys. So let's go ahead and hit the big thing, big plot point being Tekken. Tekken Bloodlines.
So everyone knows, in case someone coming in, like Craig or whoever else, to know we're covering real quick
on the topics. Yeah, so we're gonna be discovering Tekken today, Dragon Ball Super, and we're gonna do our blurred down on fighting characters in video games. But first and foremost, let's get Tekken. One of the reasons we got our boy on in general. Nick, I noticed from watching your IG story that you enjoy Tekken a little bit more subbed. I know all three of us watched the dubbed, and these two did not like it as much as I did, I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me. What were your thoughts on it?
I had a private conversation prior to coming on the podcast today with Otis online, where we discussed the game. I mean, the actual show, and he said he said actually he did not enjoy it. I was like, bro, if you watch it English dub, I absolutely understand it because Heihachi did not sound like himself in English dub. It was absolutely grueling. It reminds me of Demon Slayer English dub. I cannot watch it. With the actual subbed, I was able you hear a lot of the game character voices in the show, and it matched up with the energy that they were producing in it, and I loved it. You heard Heihachi's famous in his uppercut when he was fighting Jin. So I enjoyed that aspect. And my biggest thing that I truly loved about the show was they kept true to their fighting styles of each character. King was King. He was a grappler. He was a wrestler. He gave his moves. Jin with his beautiful uppercut. Magnificent. Heavy hitting Heihachi. And then with this, if anyone knew, this was one of my favorite Tekken storylines, Tekken 3. There's no doubt about it. I love that aspect of Jin being introduced to everyone, story background, who's his dad, who's his mother, and things of that nature. And then with the mix in with the Tekken 7 characters. And if anyone knows me, I hate Leroy. Not because he's a black character. He's the most broken character in Tekken. if you watch Evo, no, the Tekken Championships, I believe in 2019, 8 out of the 10 top 8 had Leroy.
Damn.
Jeez.
That's how broken he was. Even me, the most diverse guy, like finally won his Evo championship knee, was playing with Leroy during that time. So that's why I have him. Outside of that, I think it was a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Otis, we know you have thoughts and feelings. What are you feeling, my boy?
All right, so I mean, I'm with Nick on the aspect of they made sure that the fighting of the characters was true to their video game counterparts, and I think that was really well done in some of the animation scenes. But another thing that me and Nick talked about that really bothered me that entire series, bro, is the pyramid head, bro. On every single character in every scene, somehow there was a triangle shaped shade on them at all times, no matter how they moved. Somebody jumps in the air, like that shade never disappeared, and that irked me really. Like, I know that's me nitpicking, but it irked the fuck out of me. I feel like they fucked themselves up a little bit making it only 6 episodes because of how much content that can happen between the characters in that. You pretty much made that as a non-factor. Like, you have, like, there's some, like, Nina and Anna were both members of this tournament, and if you know anything about Tekken, those two are sisters, and they have a lot of reasons to want to talk to each other, and
Beef.
there was
They have a
no
lot of beef.
interaction whatsoever in this entire movie, even though they were both present. Like, something that me and E talked about, like, yes, they gave you a quick rundown of the backstory for King, but like there was no build up to King being him, so there was no actual impact to it. Like, this was built so like that fans of the series can come and gush over it because we're going to recognize the graphics of it, but there is nothing about this that is actually telling the story to newer people. Like, if you don't know what's happening, you're going to be lost.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah. So I'll try to keep this as civilized as possible. Nick is a very nice man. He's almost 30. He's almost grown up finally. This was not a show. It was basically like watching a Let's Play with children because it looked like PS2 graphics in 2011 to start with. Yeah, the moves were legit. They were what they were, but they were done so undramatically that there was no actual like suspense or intensity to it. The actual, like Otis said, the story, there was no story. If you can tell me why Ogre showed up to kill Jin's mom, kind of they say possibly because Jin has potentially the demon gene, I guess possibly, but it wasn't too clear. If you can tell me what Ogre himself wanted at all, I'd be love to hear it. If you can tell me at all who any of the characters actually are, why they're doing what they're doing, I'd love to hear it. It was such a vast lack of any actual narrative, except for the part that I did like, which was seeing Jin and Heihachi train. Again, going to what Nick said, as far as in the dub, they say so many of the same dumb lines over and over again, or they say in the first episode, I did see a count from somebody that Jin's mom says his name 32 times in just 32 times in one episode. I was like, wow. 32 times in one episode. So this was not. We're getting into something later on that Nick has feelings about. So this is fair. This is fair play. I watched it. I didn't fall asleep more than once, but I don't know that I'll watch it again.
I will say this as far as 3D animation.
I see the text change there. I see what you did there.
I'll say this about the movement. I agree. It fit the Tekken 3 3D platform fighting style. One of my biggest gripes that bothered me was that Paul was a finalist with the last Iron Fist tournament. And then you gave him this big hype and he loses to King out of nowhere. And then you give King's reason. Yeah. King reason after this. Like, you could have used AK Armor King as a follow-up with King's original disappearance, but you didn't use that. So again, I think this was really like paying homage to like Tekken players, you can absolutely tell Sakurai played a part in this. 1000% he was involved into this. If no one knows this, he's the guy who created Tekken. He was involved with making sure the Tekken players that we know have their movesets for sure. Heihachi was subbed correctly, and Jin did his Devil Jin thing. Outside of that, I mean, yeah, it wasn't. I agree. The storyline wasn't there. There was a lot of things that could have been done correctly, but I took it for what it is. The 3D animation for Perry is never good.
But it can be. The thing is, have any of y'all seen
Berserk 2016?
Why would you bring that up on this show? But have you ever seen any of y'all seen King and Ashura, another Netflix series that has even more episodes per season?
King and Omega right now. What do you mean?
But the thing is, King and Ashura is 3D and it is done very well. The fights are intense, and even with that, they have more characters, and it tells a better, grander story too. So if we were going to go with the idea, well, it's 3D animation, you can't expect good fights in 3D animation. It's only 2022. It's like, no, it's been done already. It's been done better.
But when you look at
the cutscenes in Tekken, the cutscenes in Tekken 3 had better intensity with that CGI, and that's barely visible these days.
I would say with Tekken 3 storyline, though, I wasn't going. I don't think they were actually going for intensity or suspense with this actual storyline. Like when Ogre pulled up, maybe they could have put more emphasis between him and Jin. Absolutely. Like they did, because you did it with Heihachi and Jin. Like you felt the training. Like at that point, I wanted to become a Mishima player. Like I wanted to go to Tekken 7, put down Josie, and was like, which one of these Mishima players am I going to pick up and train with?
Right.
I felt that. And so I totally agree. Could have had that intense in there, but I don't believe that this was the purpose of it. Because again, we had 6 episodes, and if you know anything about Tekken 3, you're not going to get the storyline of Ogre within 6 episodes. It's not going to happen. And then, because it was a mess, as soon as I saw introduction of Tekken 7 characters in a Tekken 3 storyline, I was like, oh, okay, I know where this is going. Nowhere. I'm here for the fun aspect. Like, I threw all logic out the window.
Damn.
Like, cool. Because you will have to know, like at this point, you have to be a Tekken player and someone that's in the scene and knows the storyline to know what story background. Like any comic book, like, oh, I know where they got this reference from. I know what they're doing at this point. Cool.
But they could have, because the thing is, I actually didn't know. I've only played, I'll admit, I've only played Tekken 3, Tekken 6, and then a little bit of Tekken Tag. But I did watch like a 2-hour video explaining the entire Tekken timeline and everything. It's really well done. And it's a great story. And I watched the old school OVA of Tekken from like what year was that, Otis? The original Tekken OVA that came out back in the day, that hour-long anime.
It was like 2002?
2002 or 2001, somewhere around there, maybe 2001. But it wasn't great, but it did at least open. It's because it does follow. It follows more of Tekken 1 and Tekken 2 essentially, because you see Kazuya at the end. It ends with Jin. But at least the idea is, it's like they could have set something up to show almost like like a prologue having Kazuya and Heihachi's issues as father and son. So later on, or set up the idea of Jun and Kazuya really quickly. You have 6 episodes. You do have time to do something with it. So they could have tried to have more of a narrative. Also, there's other parts where Hwang, I probably mispronounced it, the guy that has the orange hair is a Harang. Shows up, and Zayu, I'm tearing her name apart.
No, you're right.
Zayu, but they show up, and their introductions in this series are under the under the overpass, with no like a dialogue, as Jin is fighting them randomly for no reason. It's kind of like, what is this? Why not give them some kind of introduction? Because later on, when Jin does see Harang right before the tournament starts, there's meant to be like some kind of a Vegeta Goku rivalry with them. And like, wait a minute, all we saw is one clip of them fighting under an overpass. Like, why not try to tell a story? Give us something. Netflix costs a lot of money per month. Please give me something with my membership.
And I agree with that. So I'll just go back to address the release date of the Tekken one that you was talking about. That movie was released in 97.
97.
That was released in 97. But
Before Dev was born. Literally before Dev was born.
Pre-dev.
Pre-Dev, yeah.
I will say you will have to know at that point. You will have to know the relationship of these characters because Harang and Jin have this back and forth relationship, and then I believe in Tekken 5 or 6 or one, could have been one of the tags where Jin was actually on the walking around in a random desert in his Devil Jin form, and Harang was trying to catch up to him, like, hey, what's going on? Like they're actually really close to like a friendship type deal. And Xiaoju, damn, I can't pronounce her name as well. That's like a love interest.
Okay.
Again, you will have to know at this point, which is not fair to the people that you're introducing it to. But shameless plug, I believe everyone here, if you're interested in Tekken or anything like that, or fighting games in general, please check out Maximilian. He does a phenomenal job of breaking this down.
Yeah, he does.
He informs everyone. He's very welcoming. And I believe this was a good introduction because if I felt as though like, hey, I want to become a Mishima player, that's me knowing the game. Right. There could have been kids watching this like, oh, that's a cool fight scene. Ooh, King does this in the game. I'm going to do that. Well,
Nick, let me ask you this because you are the brains of our outfit by far. Do you think this series did more to help get new or players people who've never played the game, get them more interested in playing it, or did more harm than good? Because like I have no idea what this is. I'm lost. I'm done with this series.
It's neutral.
You think it's neutral?
Okay. It's neutral. People are interested, but I'll find the plug. What was it? Not Gamescom, but one of the publishers out there that covered video games.
Mm-hmm.
They did a phenomenal job showing how fighting games should be introduced and how this guy who went from just a casual button smasher to actually getting into the scene, and it's more of the game itself and the structure of it than like shows that it might be outside of Dragon Ball or something we know all too well, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Right. So. Right. And one last question, Nick. Just going to ask you real quick. Have you seen the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie from 96, 97?
I've seen all of them.
Okay.
Okay. So because that movie is like less than 2 hours, but it definitely shows like it goes through all the characters of Super Street Fighter 2 basically, and it finds a way to, in some manner, to have it a somewhat of a cohesive narrative that does introduce certain characters, has certain things that are going on. I'm not expecting anything to be, of course, be amazing or great. That's an adaptation of a video game property, but they're fundamentals with storytelling, and because the Tekken story actually is a little bonkers, but it's great. I actually enjoy the story a lot. I mean, the father-son dynamic, seeing the mad scientists do all kinds of stuff, it's fantastic. The cutscenes, if you just watch the cutscenes. They're fantastic. So I feel even more hurt because they squandered such a great opportunity with that.
Absolutely.
And then my biggest issue overall with it is like, if this is supposed to be a new Tekken title, right? Why would you start with a third tournament? Like, if you're trying to
the first one,
and then call it the first one,
right? Yeah, like,
that bothered me.
Why would you do that? Like, if you're trying to introduce new people to your lore, to your world, why start in the middle of it? Why not start at the beginning?
Did they say that was the first tournament? I thought they said
they said it.
No, it's because they said that Kazuya won or something happened in the previous ones where Kazuya So.
And the scene that they fought at was at the end of Tekken 7, which pissed me off.
You have the story told already. Just tell that story.
Like, come on. Like, if you want to introduce people, Heihachi versus his son Kazuya would have been great.
Fantastic.
Then at the end, Jin, because that father-son hate would have been chef.
Yo, could you imagine, Nick, if this movie opened with Kazuya fighting Heihachi at the end of Tekken, either 1 or 2, because I know that they switch who wins at each one, but have that be the opening for the movie. Is that end of the first tournament essentially, where Kazuya is fighting Heihachi or something like that? It'd be amazing. Open with an amazing epic father-son battle right there. That'd be great. Just open on that, and then we can kind of get into why they were doing that or whatnot, and kind of jump into the second tournament or whatnot. But do something like that. Open epically, and they didn't do that.
I think for me the biggest problem is I kind of agreeing with you guys. a lot of the best stuff about the show is stuff that they alluded to that did not happen on screen.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to the Kazuya Heihachi fight, you just casually, I can't remember who it was, maybe it may have been Paul. We just casually were just like, oh yeah, in the last tournament he threw Heihachi off a cliff. I don't know how he's alive right now. I'm expecting when he said that, I'm thinking we're gonna get like a Family Guy cut to like him on a cliff or something, but we're just we ignore that. Like this dude fell off a cliff in here. Yeah, this of him with his arm behind his back on the bottom of a cliff or some shit.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it was. I think obviously what Nick said when it comes to the fight scenes were dope. Some of the animation was cool when it comes to the fighting, at least not when it comes to actually being seen. We don't again the Diamond Head shit was a thing. Yeah, I will say I'd be interested to see how much of a younger audience the game Tekken 7 got after the series dropped, because it feels as though that this is probably aimed more so at a younger audience. Because I'm looking at the pacing of the show, how it was primarily the action. They didn't spend almost any time on development of characters. It was just like flashy action and like here we'll say the names 15,000 times so you know which character is which character. It felt like they were trying to introduce us to kids to get them to get into the game. Is what it felt like to me.
Yeah, very. Because also it wasn't the fighting and violence wasn't graphic at all. It was very much PG level at most. Yeah,
that's what I like to think. So I'd be interested to see how big of a younger audience got into the game after the fact and see if what they did actually worked. But that's my thoughts on it. That's all I have on it in particular.
So obviously we're giving our ratings. Nick's official rating said was 7.5, brother.
Yeah, I give it a 7.5 just because I'm coming in this as a Tekken knowledge person, not like a new guy. So I'm like, I get it. Sure. So I enjoyed it. So
right on. Okay. Okay. Otis, you go next.
One of y'all next. Look, Otis, you go. Otis, let's go. Give me your rating. Let's go. Let's do it.
You want mine?
Let's go. Give me that 2. I already know it's coming.
No, I was not a 2. Not a 2. I give it a 4. Like, I mean, because again, like it did entertain me to some degree. Like, I enjoyed moments of it, and it felt nostalgic for me at parts. So, like, I enjoyed it to a degree, but like the story was just literally not there. It was just it was not there.
Yeah.
Professor E.
And to go along with what Craig just said, I actually did like that part. It was episode 2. That primarily dealt with the training with Jin and Heihachi. I actually did like that. That was by far the best part of the show. So yeah, and I love, y'all know how much I love seeing mentor mentee things. You know, I love seeing that kind of those kind of things in movies and TV. I would give this a 3. I give it a 3 mainly because I did like 3 out of 10. I did like Jin and Heihachi's relationship. I like seeing Heihachi. I love Heihachi as a character in general, and I like seeing him be Heihachi, even though I know his dubbing was a mess. He was still Heihachi. He was still the same character. So but everything else was everything else was like, what is this?
I'll give it a 5. For me, I'm not a huge major Tekken fan, but as a past Tekken fanboy, I enjoy getting to see some of my favorite characters on screen and actually get to fight. They're still missing some that I really enjoy, but maybe we'll get another one, or they'll do better if they do a sequel. I feel like it's coming.
Probably is.
It was the fighting animation was there. If what you advertise is in the fighting is good, I'm not gonna be that mad. I mean, it was bad, but if you're priding yourself on your fight scenes and something, and the fight scenes are good, you did what you set out to accomplish. So I'll give it a 5 at least on that front alone. Yeah, it was cool. I'll check out a sequel if it comes out to see what it's like, but it was cool.
Right on.
So I got a question for you, Brother E. This is an important one that I think only you can answer. Would you rather watch this Tekken Bloodline series again or MK Legends 2?
You want Craig beat your ass.
He inspired the question.
MK Legends 2, man, that was
just say
honestly, I'd probably rather watch MK Legends 2 because it's shorter. We were it was how many of us was it in there? It was like 6 or 7 of us. We were hyped going into that.
Yeah, Nick, it was me, Otis, Felicia, Stan, and Ethan were all in a party, a PlayStation party. Zell was there too, yeah. It was like 6 or 7 of us, and we watched MK Legends 2 together because we were all hyped because we had seen the Scorpion one. It's like, all right, I was sick. We can't wait for the next one. When I mean that was the funniest shit we have ever fucking reacted to, or just like, I wish you would have recorded that as like an episode for the show because that shit was so bad. And we all, like, I thought I was tweaking. We all unanimously were just like, bro, is that as bad as you think it is? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The shit was terrible.
It was
So way better than the last live action Mortal Kombat movie.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You tell me Cole is you Otis, I will walk to Buffalo, sir.
He has a car. He has a car, but
I will walk so the anger will build. Well, you know, I'm like, you know why I'm here with a bottle of Hennessy looking for violent Nick.
Nick, have you seen it? Have you seen the second?
I watch it. It's bad, but Cole, it's worse.
I don't know, bro.
That's a fair fight. That's a fair fight though. There's
a random kaiju battle in Mortal Kombat though, so I don't know.
Never mind. Yeah, that's.
We got kaiju battles in Mortal Kombat, bro.
Yeah,
there was a kaiju battle in Mortal Kombat Annihilation too.
Is there one? Yeah, Annihilation. That's Annihilation. That is maybe out of all these things, that's the worst.
What's the one? I don't remember that.
It was giant Liu Kang dragon versus whatever Shao Kahn turned into.
Yeah.
It
looks but saying kaiju's being generous, that was weird. That was really bad CGI. Yeah.
That was tough. I ain't gonna hold you. That was trash. But let's continue on. We gave our reviews. Again, we're not anticipating it, but we'll review the next one if a sequel to that show does come out. But getting to the next topic, Dragon Ball Superhero. For me, I'll start off with this one. I kind of have a lot of feelings on this one.
Go ahead and spoil.
Where's my?
Yeah. So spoiler alert for people that have not seen Dragon Ball Superhero. I thought it was good. It was probably one of the better.
What? It's a typo. Nick has a typo on the screen. It says Tracy. It's supposed to say Tracy.
What the hell is that? Is that a trash can?
It's a trash. It was trash.
Oh damn! I was like, wait, what the fuck?
It said trash on it.
It literally said trash. It wasn't just a random
wow,
trash
I am slow today. I have
He's
fun.
the young one, by the way. He's the youngest one here.
Yeah, you're rubbing off on me. Oh, that's me.
That's hilarious.
The show, I thought the movie was good for me. For me, growing up I watched a lot of the Dragon Ball animated movies growing up on DVD, and I really enjoyed this one. It involved Gohan, Piccolo, so it was a really good father-son story. I really liked the forms we got. Piccolo, that's my biggest thing. I have been begging and pleading and hoping for a Piccolo strength upgrade for the longest time because I thought he's too skilled of a fighter and he meditates way too fucking much and having mental battles in his head for him not to get a power boost. And I thought the way they wrote that wasn't terrible either. Because I was like, oh yeah, he never got his shit awakened on Namek when that happened. Yeah. So that was cool. I still think they need to explain what kind of boost the dragon gave him because So Otis, essentially what happened with Piccolo's new form is he went to Dende and had Dende give an upgrade to Shenlong to awaken his full potential like Gohan and Krillin did on that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that Dende gave him an upgrade, but no, you're saying
no. Yeah, he gave the upgrade to Shenlong, gave him as a wish. He upgraded his full potential, and then he added in something extra, which was like it's I don't even know what the fuck extra meant. So I was like, yeah, I gave you some extra and I put a little extra hot sauce in that shit for you so you get a little stronger.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It pretty much is chemical X. He says a bonus. He keeps saying it's a bonus.
He put his foot in it. So Piccolo gets this new dope form where to me it looks more like a devil to me, like in him being Demon King Piccolo in the fast. I feel like the form fits him a little bit.
Which they reference multiple times, the Demon King thing, his lineage and stuff. So
yeah, it's pretty much.
Did they finally explain how he went from being a demon to being a Namekian? Like, did they explain that transition?
They basically were like, that was retcon. We retconned that a while back.
They made a joke about it. He was like, "You're Demon King Piccolo, right?" He's like, "Nah, not demon anymore." He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about all that."
Yeah. They kind of retconned a bunch of things in this. Yeah,
it was meta. I enjoyed it a lot. Even Gohan's new form, again, we put some more respect on Gohan. Pretty much like Pan got kidnapped and he got angry and then turned up on niggas. So it's pretty much like his involvement there. And then we had some fun. It was a fun movie, man. The forms were cool. I really wish they wouldn't have ran Cell back, because they pretty much made a new version of Cell from the old Cell teams. And I'm like, I wish if you were gonna do that, I would prefer them to be like cell sides because they pretty much had a kaiju battle, and I'm just like kaiju battles in Dragon Ball. Like I didn't. Did you guys ever really fuck with the one with the Rudigon? Yeah. I didn't really fuck with that kaiju battle either like that. I thought that was kind of weak to me. It was cool.
I mean, the Super Dragon Fist was cool, but I mean, that was about it.
I mean, it was something different. At least something different. It's probably seeing two people in midair throw punches. At least we're seeing something different.
True. My favorite. This is probably like my favorite part of the movie. That kind of tearjerker for a lot of people. So at the end of the movie, pretty much to kill Cell Max, Gohan has to charge up this move, and everybody like you don't know what a move is yet, and you assume it's going to be like another Kamehameha wave because they're making it very apparent that this movie is like a parallel to the fucking original Cell shit. Like they have a lot of parallels and literal scene by scene cuts to that shit. And so Gohan powers up and does a Makakan Sopo and does a fucking special beam cannon. And it was cool as fuck. Like you say, you got to see just how much. Like I feel like at this point Toriyama knows that the meme going around that Piccolo's his father because it feels like he was pushing that shit. He's like, you used my attack. When did you even learn it? He's like, I've been practicing in secret, so you didn't know. I was like, what the fuck? And
Livy, DJ,
Black Father at work, people.
Yeah,
Livy, DJ.
That's the real Soul Max right there. Is watching Nick.
Livy.
It was cool though, man. I enjoyed it. I thought it was dope for me. For the characters I liked, and then to get new forms, it was fun. I didn't have too many expectations going into this, and it was fun. So I've ranted enough on it. Nicholas, I'll let him get his kids whenever you take your time. E, what did you feel about it? Because I know Otis hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, well, it's Nick back. I think Nick's back now. Are you back, Nick?
You good?
I'm ready for trash.
Y'all was Pootie tang the belt.
Okay. I'll go real quick before we'll give Nick the floor to like just destroy it. I'll go real quick before he does. I love this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, the 3D animation takes a while to get used to. Of course, I understand that, but it had that intensity I was looking for in Tekken Bloodline. Actually, when they're fighting and flying, it's like it hit. They had the sound effects to match, and it felt like you're still in a Dragon Ball world watching these things. It's just a different story. I love the humor actually hit when Piccolo was doing all the things with Videl and everything. It was actually funny, and actually seeing Piccolo and Gohan take center stage was like, oh, good. There are in this entire universe over all these decades. It doesn't have to always just be about Goku and Vegeta. It's like, we have a whole cast. Let's do something else with them. And I did love actually seeing the power ups. I love seeing, like you said, Orange Piccolo was a weird name, but still, I love seeing him get full beast mode, swole up. Speaking of beast mode, that's for calling Gohan's new transformation, and it was amazing to watch. I love seeing that, like you said, it was almost a shot-for-shot remake of the Cell games. I didn't catch on to it actually because they set it up subtly in the beginning as far as Piccolo putting the uniform on him, then Gohan going to fight against the people that he's essentially fighting Cell Juniors, and then when Piccolo gets pretty much smashed by Cell Max, and it has once that red line goes through, I got goosebumps and tears in my eyes, and he gets a full-blown beast mode, and I was like, I applauded. My roommates said, "What's wrong?" And I told them to shut up and leave. And I watched it, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was great. Like you said, the special beam cannon. Is it perfect? Of course, it's not perfect. Nick isn't crazy. He's just wrong. But it's still a lot of fun. So
before you go, one thing I want to talk about real quick when it comes to this animation, we talked about the 3D shit. I really wish we go back to because we talked about it in one of our other group chats. The hand drawn Dragon Ball animation. I'm just going to show a visual of this shit. Like, I prefer to have the original DBZ hand-drawn animation style. Because, like, when I see them side by side, compare it like a shot, the first one seems like a beta version of it. Like, it seems like that was a test animation to me. That shit just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why anime, I feel like a lot of anime are adapting that kind of animation style going forward.
Because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper and faster. But also, seeing a still frame of CGI doesn't nearly work as well as seeing it in motion. Seeing these things in motion is a much better translation, I think. But fair enough. All right, Nick, light it up.
Okay, Otis, you have not seen this, and you don't care for spoilers, right?
Go ahead, spoil it.
Okay, so let's give the positives out the way.
Okay.
I love the Red Ribbon game. That was as they started off. That's a Dragon Ball shout out. So they gave the comic aspect and relief aspect of the storyline with Dragon Ball Super. I enjoy that aspect. Thank you for the father-son relationship between Piccolo and Gohan. We always say make Gohan great again, but a lot of people don't realize that Gohan, when you listen to Toriyama, who is a manga terrorist,
God damn,
Gohan's nature is not like of his father. Right. Gohan's nature is tailored to his mother. Like, though he is half Saiyan and have that warrior blood in him, he was a pacifist. So he's not going to be the one that wants to go out and see who is the strongest. I'm cool with being who I am. So that is why the direction he went to with his green outfit when he got destroyed by Frieza, that's who he is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad, they're giving shots out. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, fire.
Oh, yeah.
Fire. Shout out. Let's get back into the trash.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Broly. Heat.
Oh.
Fire. Animation. Did not miss. True Dragon Ball. You gave me 20 minutes of exposition. Cool. Conversation. Great. I came here for hands. I ain't come here for nothing else. And not only hands, I came in. You absolutely, Chi-Chi ain't no pacifist, but she forced her son to become a pacifist and study pacifist pump. Yeah. That's Chi-Chi's fault.
He's a biologist now.
Yeah, he's a professor. Yeah.
But in Broly, I came for power-ups, I came for hands, and I came for loud noises. That's what I got in all three. And the money that they made was phenomenal. And that was all hand-drawn. That was perfection. Then they went into a more safer route in which they went into something that's going to be less cost-effectively and be able to tailor these people into the main storyline. I know what Dragon Ball is. It is a fan service type of series. I don't invest too much into it. I hated the new form of Cell. Cell was perfection when he was in the series. He was the perfect being. To make him into a grunt is a throw in the face of what Cell is as a being. He was perfect in every way. You brought back Frieza to be. He's able to go to Wakanda now, new form Frieza. You turn Cell into a grunt. That is a waste. Now, I had this huge argument with G on my own personal podcast with him. I get what they want.
Go ahead.
Bloodline.
Plug your shit.
Bloodline podcast catches usually every Saturday morning where we talk about the gaming news and all that. But this weekend was dedicated to the raid and Sean staying up for 26 hours, and it was rough. No one wanted to stream this following weekend, but it's cool. Usually catches. But my biggest thing about this was, yes, you had Gohan. You had Piccolo's relationship. The new forms it did not look good as it would have been if it was in a Broly written form. If this was drawn out, absolutely fire. I would have gave it I know what it is. Except the Cell aspect, because Gamma 1 and 2 really held it together. Piccolo's kaiju form, go away. And then Gohan's new form are now also mentioned to be equal to Vegeta and Goku.
Theoretically.
Yeah, so
they're not sure.
I hate it so much. I get it for what it is. And another reason I hate it so much is people saying it did these numbers without any promotion. I got some facts to give you. Dragon Ball Super is one of the most hyped up mangas right now with the new forms of everything that's going on. It's a once a month type of take. People are going to sit there and watch it just for the powers, like I said, and they think they were going to get the same input like they did with Broly. We in America love Dragon Ball more than anyone in the world. That is a statistical fact. Because in Japan, they was like, oh no, this is trash. Throw it away.
Didn't this movie make opening weekend smash box office numbers?
It did 18 to 21 million.
I think it did 24.
24?
I think I'll keep talking.
Okay, yeah. But with the promotions, with other movies, one movie in particular, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero had 0 promotion, and it was a limited time series for 2 weekends that did 16 million. I'm not even going to bring up how much money Demon Slayer did in one weekend, but it broke records, and it was actually I believe it won a few awards here in America as well. Dragon Ball is fan service. This was fan service. I get it. You may Gohan great again. Give us a tournament of Galaxy Power or whatever you want. We know for what it is. But for Perry, I can honestly say you can put this movie in the grinder, put it in a Giga Drill, send it to the Shadow Realm, and let it burn in Greek fire.
Sheesh.
Greek fire. He chose a race.
No, I mean, just hearing your description, Nick, I think I would probably have a similar distaste for it, just because, I mean, Cell is my personal favorite villain in DBZ, and because he is the smoke god, this is the guy I'm going to sit here and stand in his ring for this fight, and I'm just gonna wait. Like, it's just the fight is coming to me, and we gonna handle it. So if he's a grunt now, oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing?
But the thing about it, Cell is a 4th act villain. The real story isn't about Cell at all. He's a 4th.
Yeah,
it's not about Cell. It's not like you're seeing Cell as a grunt the whole movie. It's like, no, it's like, by the way, here's the last 4th act thing for them to deal with in the last 10 minutes, more or less.
He's a break glass, like in case of emergency.
Literally, they break glass to release them.
They bio Broly.
Pretty much, yeah.
They bio Broly them. That's
Oh no!
Yeah.
As big as a threat that you know Cell is, they did that to him.
They did. Yeah, he's definitely a bio Broly, but it's still, he's legit. He's a serious. I mean, I know Cell has all kinds of fans. Cell for me is okay. He's a decent enough guy, but he's also one of those guys where his first 2 forms in the show, that bitch was whining and moaning about, oh my gosh, I want to absorb people. Let me absorb people. Oh. It's like, man, if you don't shut the hell up. So Cell turned me off pretty bad with all that.
He was giving hands though, bro. When he first came in that first form, when he was working Piccolo,
he gave aspects to each Saiyan though. He was moaning, just like Vegeta. Like he wants to be Super Saiyan King, which he is not.
You're a Vegeta fan, aren't you?
I don't like seeing Vegeta whine and bitch and moan about stuff. I do not like whining. I know Nick has amazing, beautiful children. He's a great father. I could not be a father because I can't handle being around people that cry and whine about everything. I can't. So Cell, do your thing. I like Perfect Cell more because he doesn't whine as much. But I was never a Cell stand. I just never was.
Funny fun fact. Apparently, Toriyama's really reluctant to use Cell in general for anything. Because apparently, it was a bitch to draw on his spots originally, like to hand draw those. He said that was like hell to do, but then you just throw him off to the fire here.
What if that's why they did the whole? What if that's all the whole reason for the CGI was like, look, I'll put Cell in this movie, but we can't do it. It has to be CGI the entire time.
It makes sense because he's in for like the last 10 minutes.
It's just the last 10
and
minutes.
He's massive, so like he's not small.
Yeah,
he's big as hell, so they can put it in bigger spots.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
If that's all it was, I'm pissed, but it makes sense.
It's possible.
As a workload aspect, but
it's possible. But Nick, you were right. It made 20 million opening weekend. 20 million.
Okay, yeah. So because I had an argument about this, and I'm not hating on Dragon Ball because I'm there for the hype. Yes, I was there when Goku did his grind on the Kefla moment. I love the Jiren and Goku moment. It was hype. I'm there for the hype. For story, God no. No. I'm never looking at Dragon Ball as a serious story-driven anything ever. I was surprised Broly made complete sense this time. He was not just some big guy who screamed Kakarot as a long lost love interest. Like, you broke my heart as a child. Now I'm here to beat your cheeks.
It was so funny. Have you watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Nick?
Oh yeah, of course.
With Team 4-Star. When they abridged that movie, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. He was like, Vegeta purposely was like, he's so cool. He's like, well, Kakarot terrorized him as a child because he cried. He's like, that's it? He's a big fucking baby. Oh man, shout out to Team 4-Star. But yeah,
that's the thing is the points that Nick is making. I completely understand that. Yeah, I'm not disputing those things. That's fair. It's very fair. I guess it's a matter of like going to Tekken Bloodlines too. Like it's a matter of what you are looking for, what you're expecting. I had very low expectations for this, for Dragon Ball Super. And I thought the animation, the CGI was going to really bother me. I was able to kind of look past it, and once I got into the movie, I just enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed seeing there were nostalgia berries. I am a person that actually likes Dragon Ball more subbed more than dubbed, and just hearing those voices, hearing them scream here, it got me hype, got me really, really hype, and seeing that Gohan transformation at the end, and seeing Gohan and Piccolo have the real father and son of Dragon Ball celebrated, it made me happy. But the negatives you mentioned are very much there. I can't pretend they aren't there.
And I just have to say, like, I have Gogeta in the background as a figure.
You should.
That, I mean, as just in Goku Black, because I get problems with fighters. But yeah, he's an issue. I'm pink level, threat level, the biggest one. But Gogeta, just the artistic value of what that movie did, and I understand that it's a time-consuming thing, but when done correctly, when done with care and love, what's that show called that did numbers first season and just killed the box? Oh, Demon Slayer. When things like that done, well, Mappa is them guys though. So
Studio Mappa, yeah.
We're not gonna act like they ain't them.
Yeah.
If you take time to invest into that, you're going to get your return. I get the time frame and the cheaper aspect in 3D animation. When done correctly, King and Ashura, absolutely great. Your track record in Berserk.
Let's not bring that up anymore. Let's just not bring that up.
Okay, let's go. Kingdom, your first 3 seasons. Shit.
Jesus, I tried watching that, man. That was rough.
Don't.
Rough.
Just read it. It is the greatest read of all time.
So I need to read it. Yeah, I need to read it.
Yeah, that's my take.
What Whitfield?
Jinx, show me soda.
Yeah.
Soda.
But yeah, that's so real
Rick?
quick. We got to do the score. We got to score it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. It was cool. It was fun. I watched it, enjoyed it.
All right, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Nicholas,
street level trash.
He said street level. He said street level trash.
Is that 4?
Trash. Like New York Street, or like
Chicago Street.
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
which Aladdin? You talking about the Will Smith Aladdin?
No, I'm talking about the animation Aladdin.
Grimy.
Street Rat 4.
Oh, Street. Yeah. Right on.
Talking about Arabian Nights on him.
Talking about Arabian Nights. Oof,
Yes.
that is nasty. That is a nasty trash.
That's
nasty.
That is hilarious.
I did not like it.
That is nasty trash. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, at least it's not bloodborne sewer trash, right?
Not in Yarmouth. No, that's nasty.
Woo, buddy.
Well, guys, speaking of nasty things, I think it's about time that we go ahead and play this nasty ass intro. Let
me get to it. I do have to acknowledge that out of all the segments we've done at this show over the years, that's definitely our best one. So a quick round of applause to Dev for the best by far we've ever done. But now that beautiful beam footage. Welcome to Die, baby.
Oh god,
that was hot. I like that. That's first off. That's hot. Get my information. I need some of this.
The best part was watching Nick's response to it, reaction to it, and Dev and Otis. Otis and Dev were like this, and Nick was enjoying it. So,
Nick, when I made that intro for this, I did not have that ending video or that audio there. I hit that bitch one day when we first used it. I was like, what the hell is this?
Also, you tried to erase it, but one time on the show, you erased. You tried hard, man. It would never happen again. I would never let it happen again.
Oh god. But you wouldn't explain the blurt down to my boy Nicholas?
Of course, I would love to. Dear Nicholas, our guest. This is called the Blur Down, and the way this actually works is that we all compiled our list of our top 10 choices for the week, whether it be the top 10 couples, top 10, best hats worn, top 10 punches thrown, whatever it might be, and we actually come on the show together and go down that list. Today's list is all about, in honor of Tekken Bloodline, it's going to be about the top 10, or actually top 12 best fighters in video games. Now, again, requisite that's not the right word. Preface, I guess.
Preface.
Disclaimer. I mean, I'm not sure how words work. I'm just a writer. But the disclaimer for this is that we know each other's list more or less in advance, and we don't have any repeats. So some of you may say, "Hey, why don't you all have this one person at the top of your list?" It's because we had to make sure we all have very different lists. So that's all.
So somebody was snatched up. I try to get in my list first so I can snatch up what I want ahead of time.
We came up with this time. Literally, it was it's like 5 seconds after we. It was like immediate. It was like, what? I'm still typing the idea of the concept, and Otis and Charlie put his list in there right away.
Niggas weren't taking my people. I needed that one. This one for sure. I used to love fighting games. So I'm like, y'all not taking my shit on this one.
No, but the problem is we have a guest, so you want to give precedence to your guests. They can get top picks or whatnot. So.
Well, we didn't know he was coming on at that point.
Yeah, we didn't know he was coming on.
This is good. I think my list is pretty different from a lot of people's, from my fighters and stuff like that. So, yes. I mean, honorable mention, the most issue, Greg, if you're watching, and Demigod Sean, your daddy's right there watching whenever you want smoke. Charlie, remember that petty moment?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to disclaimer. When me and the guys, we have our private lobbies. We call it the dojo. When Dragon Ball Fighters was hot, I'm just going to say I went on this 25 win streak between the two.
25 win.
Damn.
That's
talk your shit, then, Saint Nick. Talk your shit.
And I just want to let y'all know, it was at the end of Dragon Ball Fighters. It does show damage. My man's fit was clean, y'all. He didn't touch the ground.
Damn.
That's good. God.
Let's get with your play.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am the superior being.
You actually are.
Like, all right, it's cool. I'm gonna pay you back in the day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, call me when you need some gold necklace out. Call me.
Jesus.
But
moving on to the God tier, which is Nick. We're gonna get into his number. We'll do it. We'll go. So it'll be Nick, Otis, then Charlie, then me. So it's clockwise, starting with Nick. Feel me?
Yes, sir.
Otis, you're on the con. You're on the con as always. And Dev, do you have our bean footage or B-roll to play for the?
Yeah, I got you. You need to scroll down to it. It's at the bottom with them. Oh wait.
The background.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, the gameplay.
The B-roll.
So usually we have gameplay up in the background as we're doing this. I thought you meant you want me to click the B-roll. I got you. It's right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Right on. Is this is Tekken 8?
7.
It's 7. Okay, Tekken 7. Okay.
Tekken 8 was hinted. If anyone watched Evo, it was a huge moment where Harada did his Harada thing. It trolled everyone by giving us probably one of the most hinted moments at Evo of Tekken 8. Unfortunately, we're not going to hit anything till Game Awards. We'd love to have you guys on as we can talk about who will win. But Tekken 8 is hinted at, and of course Street Fighter 6. So I'm really excited. No other game will matter. I will be appreciating all fades.
No other game will matter. Right on. Okay, so real quick, we're going to start off with our honorable guest, Nick, aka the Captain's number 3. And Otis, you got the con as always, brother?
Yes, I do.
You also know that you're coming in the background, Ethan. In the background behind you. He's one of that's your comment behind you. Yes,
it is. Oh, yes. And we'll definitely get into it. I'm sorry, but Nick, you're allowed to go ahead and tell us about Jacko.
Yes, Jacko is a character from the Guilty Gear series. I got into Guilty Gear probably around Rev 1. It was one of those series that me and the guys found, played at the Wolves Den when we all lived together, me, Greg, and Pac, and my boy Gav. And we will just have competitions of like, we'll start off with Monopoly. Whoever wins Monopoly will choose a video game that weekend to win the title of Supreme Kai. And it was like, everyone was dominating and one. We need to find a middle ground, and it was Guilty Gear. And I wanted to go with someone different because usually my gameplay is a lot of pressure. And with Jacko, she was a distant player that applied a lot of pressure, but I could keep you at bay. And it was my first true Arc System Works video game that I played in Anime Fighter that I truly enjoyed. And it gave me an understanding of what breaking down characters, setups, heavy, light, medium buttons, and things of that nature. So I love Guilty Gear, and she has the meanest arch game I've ever seen in anybody ever. Jacko's arch game is silly. I love her. She is my true waifu.
the Guilty Gear series, I'm gonna play a little bit of it, but the sprite. I think that's their sprites more or less, but the animation, the character designs is like super duper anime. Like it's just beautiful to watch. I watch a lot more than I actually play. It's awesome to look at. Period.
Oh, man, it's probably the most beautiful fighting game that I've seen. And if you play Dragon Ball Fighters, Arc System Works did that as well. So they have a really good pedigree of putting fighting games together. They've done a lot. But Jacko and some of funny enough, she was my actual first character that I actually went to my first fighting game tournament with. If you know anything about anime fighters, it is grueling. You have to know what you're doing because you're not going in there playing any like scrubs. You're playing against vets, people who know what they're doing. And shout out to one of my boys that I met on the Indianapolis fighting game scene who showed me the ways. And my boy Jason from where is he? I think he's stationed in Nebraska. I linked up with him through NU with playing Jacko as well. So it's a lot to her, but she's bad. And she pisses Greg off. So I love her.
That's enough right there. That's that's enough of a reason right there.
What, Libby?
Word. So real quick, just to answer our boy Craig, who we love.
What, Libby?
So yes, that is my comic in the background behind me, and Dev and Otis and I are putting together, getting the site fixed up a bit more. We're gonna restock the shelves. We have all the books. So if you are interested in getting these books, we will definitely let you know the best, easiest way to get them if you are curious about it or interested in it. Okay. So yes. So thanks for asking. All right. Moving on to speaking of Otis East of Chicago, 500 Lane.
We were talking about Otis East.
Yeah.
But I mean, I go with the.
Is that Ryu Hayabusa? Is he in Tekken?
Wow. No, he's in
Dead.
Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive.
Oh, yo, I thought that was a Tekken gameplay. My bad, bro. I was like, what?
No,
I'm not mad at that.
No, I mean, going back to Dead or Alive has always been one of my favorite fighters, just because it had that arena effect where you can sidestep, you can move around a little bit. It's not just like the 2D jump up towards each other type of fighting. But Ryu Hayabusa has just always been so one of the more saucy characters in a fighting game. Period to me. I mean, not even including the Ninja Gaiden games, because I was a little slow to the party there. I never realized that they were the same character,
same dude,
until my adulthood almost. But just seeing him fight, just seeing how quickly he can move, seeing someone that athletic in a fighting game, it always appealed to me. And it just he almost started my my ninja like adhesion, I guess. I know. Well, just he was my first ninja that I really enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, he was actually the first. He's a kind of old. I mean, for like blurs of my age, I know more than sandpaper. But and back in the day when Ninja Gaiden, the first Ninja Gaiden game came out, that was my introduction to what a ninja was seeing him in that NES game in 1985 or 1986 when it came out, and see him like his career. He's had more longevity than a lot of other characters. A lot of more series. Because he's been in another one of the games that Otis and I love a lot is Neo, the Neo series. Mm-hmm. He makes an appearance in Neo 2, and he's not a boss. He's like the mega level hidden boss. Like if you go up against him, he is broken beyond broken, and you fight him when you're already broken yourself. So it's like he's over broken essentially. So yeah, I love Ryu Hayabusa. He's amazing, and I love watching him, especially in Dead or Alive, because those characters are oftentimes they're trying to be pretty or they're trying to be look cool. Ryu's like, I don't care about y'all. I'm here with a sword. I have a sword. I will kill you now.
Smoke god.
Smoke. He's literally a smoke god. So yeah, Ryu's the greatest.
Hermano Otis, I have a pregunta for you, my friend. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is the better athlete in a video game, Ryu Hayabusa or LeBron in Multiverses?
Next question. I'm going on to Charlie's number 3.
Yeah.
Yes, Charlie, you're a man of culture.
Oh yes, King. So for me, I don't think I've talked about this on the show at all yet. So this is a random fact about me. For whatever reason, when I used to hang around my stepdad a lot. And when he's a mechanic at Walmart, so we would go to AutoZones a lot. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but in every AutoZone I ever went into in Middle Georgia, there was always a Tekken arcade game machine there for whatever reason. And I would always run the fade with King. King, again, at that point in time, I was still a big wrestling fan. It's like, oh, dude's a wrestler. He looked kind of black. I couldn't tell if he was black or not. He had some darker skin, and at least in the games I saw. So I'm like, all right, black dude wrestler with a jaguar head. Let's put in work. His combos always felt smooth to me. He hit hard. He hit the wrestling moves. And it was dope. King to me always looked sick to me, and I don't know why I just instantly fell in love with him from then. And that's me playing with the arcade game machine. When I got to playing Tekken Tag on PS2, oh, I think it was a wrap. I would always run it up with King and Jin, and it was a wrap. And I did not lose. With me and my cousins, I was smacking all my cousins. There was no effort there. Nobody wanted to smoke.
King, I like King a lot. I mean, I couldn't, because King is kind of like a Zangief, and he's a grappler, right? You got to know how to use the joystick movements. But King I actually like his story a lot. The real King, because it's a legacy. For most of the games, you're playing a legacy character, but then also that legacy character has his own storyline too, with Armored King, and the nobility of him, and that the whole family, the whole idea. You do see King briefly at the very beginning, isn't that right, Nick? At the very beginning of Tekken 1's like intro movies or what have you, see how King actually looks. And I believe he's like Brazilian or Latin X or something. I can't quite tell, but he's not.
He pays homage to the mass wrestling of our southern brothers and sisters.
He's a luchador. Okay. Luchadores.
Yeah, he's a luchador.
Cabron, la raza. I was like, oh, my boy, I didn't even know he was a luchador. That's crazy.
Yeah, but King is great.
Probably why I rock with him so much.
Shout out to Lil Majin, another Tekken player. He was on a tirade with King. The combo that you actually showed at the very beginning, Charlie, is if you don't know what button to press at the right time, you're going to hurt yourself a lot because King's going to unleash hell upon thee. So I like that choice.
That combo seems like unbreakable. I mean, I know the person obviously is putting in different moves at each time, but it was an unbroken combo. It looked like
you will have to know, so with Tekken with grapples, you have to know what to press at the right time, or you're going to accumulate more damage with each slam that he performs. It's breakable, but you have to know what you're doing.
Right on. Yeah. Skill. And speaking of Tekken again, Otis, here we go.
Of course.
So my number 3 is Heihachi of the Bald Badass series. I love Heihachi, man. I was a big fan of Heihachi even before I started playing any Tekken games. Just when I just seeing him around, because like the same way that Dev had the Tekken arcades and AutoZone in Georgia, we had them in North Carolina. It's the weird thing in the South. We have Tekken games, but I just saw this dude because he was basically for Tekken 2. If you remember, the cover art was actually Heihachi in the front with a lot of the fighters around him, because Kazuya is the bad guy they're going up against. So I saw this dude standing there, and I was like, yo, this guy has completely different design than most video game characters. He has a big old mustache like my granddad, and he was a badass. I was like, this is awesome. Just watching him fight. And he's one of those dudes, he has so much smoke that he doesn't care about anybody. His own son and grandson, his granddad, father, he delights in slaughtering his own family. It's like, good God, that is like cold. Like Yujiro Hama is an asshole. This guy is even worse than him. So yeah.
I bet you would call him ball to his face, though.
No. I polish his head to his face.
He reminds me, he's that one uncle at the cookout that you got to watch around your girlfriend when you bring her. Hey, you got a good one there, young blood. Yeah, you got a good one there. She bad, boy. She bad.
Yeah. He would have no problem with pushing you aside and grabbing her and like going around the potato salad or whatnot.
Yeah, they put you on some real pimp shit real quick. Let me tell you something real quick.
But Nick, you know this better than I would. Is Heihachi in tournaments and stuff for Tekken? Is Heihachi used a lot, or is he kind of not a bigger character?
He's used as far as like if you're a Mishima player, as far as good mix-ups, like he is used. But again, you will use the better versions in Jin and Kazuya.
Right on. I see what you mean.
He's more because he's slower.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's like a fucking truck.
Right on.
I mean, regardless, I have problems with all Mishima players, so it doesn't matter. Heihachi,
Heihachi for sure.
Heihachi for sure, because he grabs He looks at your head sensually, like, I'm about to headbutt the shit out of you. His lightning starts coming around. He's like, ugh. I love it.
Essentially. Yeah, but Tanjiro does have at least second place to I mean it would be Heihachi, then Tanjiro, then everybody else's headbutts. Definitely.
Gotcha.
Okay, so speaking of second
Gon
place,
had a pretty nice headbutt too. I mean, we'll do a headbutt list one day. We'll do a top
please,
headbutt list.
please. We need to. But speaking of number 2, or second place, I meant second place, not number 2.
You're number 2, Nick.
Yes, my boy Kung Jin. I accept any and all challenges in Mortal Kombat X. Let's fucking go. I love this character. I beat ass with him. He was the character I actually retired people from for playing Mortal Kombat with. And funny enough, though Guilty Gear Rev 2 was my first game that I went to compete in, Mortal Kombat X was the one I was the most successful at. I remember going to like my second tournament, I competed in Guilty Gear in Mortal Kombat. I got washed in Mortal Kombat. I got washed. And shout out to my boy Daryl and Frank. They're really good in fighting games to the point where Frank, I have this saying that Frank gets online and putting the controller down because Frank is a dick. He has his laugh that is so obnoxious and mean that it will make children cry. So I dedicated dojo time to learning, and Daryl was a Kung Jin player, and I was like, I gotta learn this character. I love Kung Jin. I love him. I remember when I went to my second turn playing Mortal Kombat X, me and this kid who was a Liu Kang fighter, we did like the best of 20, and we eventually got a crowd around us because the first time me and him played, he watched me. Like he completely watched me. The second time that following Sunday that we played, we was going back and forth. He was like, damn, you came back heavy. I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking around this time. I give issues in Mortal Kombat. Greg won't play me. Pac won't play me. There's a lot of people who won't play me. Like there's only 2 people who honestly and other like players who actually compete in it. Other people won't play me with him because I'm going to give you an issue because my mix-up game is silly. And if I get you in the corner, it's juggle time, baby. Come here. It's an issue.
Oh, hell, I don't want that smoke. I want that smoke. You can keep that. I like my long.
And Otis, I'm sure you saw this. That dude was rocking a bow and arrow.
Yes, he was. I'm kind of bewildered right here because like this is an archer I didn't know existed. That's how far I've got to loose up in for MK, even though that is actually a segue into my number 2 because I picked the MK character myself. You know,
let's dance, sir.
I got to talk about the originator of the Shadow Clone Jutsu right here. I mean, come on now. The original Sub-Zero comes back from the dead and with shadow powers, and it becomes this guy right here, Noob Saibot. One of the most elusive characters to try to fight with because you can be so focused on him, and then the Shadow Clone comes out of nowhere, hits you with an uppercut, and then now you're in the middle of a combo that you wouldn't expect to be run into. I mean, going back to my days of when I was playing fighting games pretty heavy, like playing Mortal Kombat 2 on Nintendo 64. Well, no, that's
Super
Sega
Nintendo.
Genesis. That's Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
But trying to figure out how to. That was my first game that I actually learned how to do combos for. So that's okay. The original Heartless.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Kingdom Hearts 2. But
the best out of the 3.
Yeah, not 3. Yeah, no shout out for 3. Yeah, no shout out for 3.
But I mean, I've always been a big fan of ninjas. Between Ryu Hayabusa and then going over to the Mortal Kombat ninjas, but it's always been a thing that I always felt ninjas are supposed to be things that operate out of the darkness. So to give a character the actual control of a shadow version of himself, I just felt like was the perfect synergy. And I'm a huge fan of Noob.
Yeah, and because Noob is behind. I can't remember how the origin came about. Like you said, he's behind the original Sub-Zero brought back, and just the idea of behind was a man of mad vengeance. So the idea of his actual. I wonder if the word smoke, as far as how we use it today, was derived around Noob Saibot in some capacity.
Shout out
You
to
know, 'cause,
Smoke.
even when he did, it wasn't enough to stop him from wanting to fight people. So I mean,
Yeah.
between him and Scorpion, those are smoke gods for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of gods,
Yeah,
it's not really. I've done worse. I've done worse ones.
I mean, they're there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Hey,
me.
actually, it does work. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, look, bro. I'm gonna keep this quick with this. So again, I talked about this on the show as well. My first video game ever that I owned myself was Dragon Ball Z Budokai. And when I tell you this is pretty much my first introduction to anime as well, because I didn't even know that I didn't know there was a show. I played the game first and then found out about the show once my stepdad told me and I got into it. When I first played with Goku on there,
I feel so
and bro, when I tell you, so pretty much the way my story went, this is kind of how I got into video games too. All my shit's all in one. My stepdad was the type to not let you win at anything. He didn't let me win shit. I got decently good and I was beating my cousins and my brother and shit. But this nigga right here would not let me win shit. He beat me so much to the point I was crying because I wanted to win so fucking bad. So when I tell you that Friday after I got back from school, I got in the lab with Goku and I was learning how to work shit. My stepdad has never beat me at a video game to this day after that. That trauma traumatized me so much. I got so nasty with Goku and Budokai 1, it was disgusting.
Wait, who was your stepdad's main? Who was he going up against you? Who was he using on you?
Him and my little brother main Trunks a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Trunks was nasty.
Yeah, he was a little brother. Yeah.
I literally, my training for that game would be just because we never memory card at that point either. So I would speed run the entire story mode on hardest difficulty, like every day after school. I just speed run that shit. And so I get to the point where I was just like beating the brakes off this nigga with Goku. He ain't want no fucking smoke. And don't let me transform. If I got the Super Saiyan, it's a wrap. Niggas don't want no problems.
Again, shout out to Charlie as a stepdad. We love you. Thanks again for all your support.
Fuck that nigga for that. I love you though, but fuck you for that.
Speaking of fuck you, I don't know.
We just give it up on the segues today.
I guess on the segues. No, but I mean, obviously Goku. We all love Goku from various games. I used him a little bit in Dragon Ball Fighters. The Budokai Tenkaichis, he's great in that too. But yeah, we all love Goku. All right, my number 2, Mr. Cage, Johnny Cage. The thing about him is Otis and Dev know how much I love Baki Hanma. Something about characters that are like in overwhelming situations, like fighting for the fate of the universe, and they are still like making jokes, are still cocky, and they also can back up their arrogance. I don't know what it is. I just dig it. I just dig it. Whether it be in the NBA, fighting games, anime, whatever. And Johnny Cage is just a fun character. In the first Mortal Kombat anime movie, what's it called? Scorpion's Revenge. Is that what it's called, Otis?
Yep.
Scorpion's Revenge. Joel McHale voices him. He does a great job with him. I just love seeing him just let Johnny Cage be Johnny Cage. It's a lot of fun. And the infamous move, the nut punch that he does, is overwhelmingly iconic. So he said, I have a big place in my heart for Johnny Cage, man.
Yeah, the Shadow Cake.
And the Shadow Cake.
Johnny Cage is a dick.
Yes, he is. That's why I love him. Let's see. He got something here.
That's exactly how I felt, bro. Like when he was saying that, I'm like, damn, I'm old as shit.
That's some old niggas, man. That's some old niggas, bro.
Yeah. No, it's there's no shame there, but yeah, that was because I can't remember when did Budokai Tenkaichi come out. I can't remember exactly, but
so it wasn't Tenkaichi, it was just Budokai.
Oh, the original series before Budokai.
I don't know how old it was. I got it in 2007 is when I first played it.
Okay, right on. Speaking of old, this character isn't old but looks mad old, and this is of course our boy Nick's number 1.
My nigga Brian Fury. Problem, issue, no need. I'm done. That's it. He's a problem.
Hands personified right there.
Hands for days. If anyone needs to know, I'm going to need y'all to do a quick history research project. Go up and look at me. He's a professional fighting game player. He is really good with all characters. But there is one character that you need to actually, if he picks them, you put the controller down. It is, of course, Devil Jin and Brian Fury. If he picks between those two, put the controller down. It's time for you. This is no longer competition. This is a tutoring session. I'm going to show you why you are ass. I love Brian Fury. This man is a madman who won't smoke all the time. Overhead, mid kick, heavy kick, uppercut, carry over to the ground. Oh, look, a quarter. Come here. Knee of justice and his evil. I love him. I love Brian Fury. He is madness.
Brian, but the thing is, Brian Fury really is like literal madness. Like he was a madman that was killed, brought back from the dead by a mad scientist, and was even angrier and more beast mode as a revised corpse that he is. So yeah, Brian Fury is a badass. I gotta give a quick shout out to Dev for when he sent me Nicholas's list. He spelled Brian as brain. And I was like, brain.
Did I?
But wow. I was like, oh yeah, I'm guessing it's got to be Brian. So I'm glad to know that it actually was Brian and not a character named Brain in Tekken.
It is no, it's like you seen Pinky and the Brain. It's him when he gets angry and then like that big suit with the hands. Yeah.
Tiny suit. Mm-hmm. Pinky the Brain reference. Thank you, Otis. That made my day. That made my day.
Y'all ain't seen that. Never mind. The Little Dicky thing. It's cool.
All right, but moving on to my boy Otis is number one.
Man. I always got to give much love to this guy right here. Back in the days of having parties in the basement and having people come over and get on video games, like this is Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 was a game that I just was not getting beat in already. But like when you did get one round off of me, this is the character that I would put on. And you're not going to be able to hit me. I don't care if you're using the range character, you're using somebody up close. Like if I bring out Neji Hyuga, it's pretty much over.
Because that footage actually was Otis fighting somebody. That was a real person he was fighting. That was me. I couldn't touch him. I tried.
I wish I could have said I could have sent you some Kung Jin video. I got plenty of perfects and rage quits from him.
Rage quits.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful. But to address his comment, Brian Fury will beat the dog shit out of Captain America on a battlefield full of arsenal. Brian Fury is madness with hands. He has no morale. If he can kill you, he's going to take the route of lowest possibility of fucking blowing your head off. I'm going to kill you. Brian Fury, that's his energy. He's like, oh, death is an option here. I'm going to kill him. It's great. Let's all have fun now.
Fuck yeah.
In the lore, I'm sorry, Otis, we'll get right back to you one moment. But in the lore, Nick, someone does beat up and destroy Brian later on. Who is that does that? Because he has to get rebuilt again by the doctor.
That is a question for Daryl because I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
We know Cap ain't doing it though. Fuck that nigga.
Because Cap tries to throw the shield at Brian. He's literally just going to catch it. Like that's not going to do anything to his hands.
Let me kill everyone's mic myself. Let me just be on this. This will be a one person show for a while. But Otis, you were saying though about Neji before we
Yeah, Neji. Honestly, he's that character that I kind of get into his persona when I'm playing. Like I just get you were beneath me. Like we're not equal. You were never made to be this good. Like. Just understand that there's a difference between you and me, but only when I'm playing Ultimate Ninja Storm 2.
But he's like the Lelouch V of essentially with hands. Lelouch V with hands. Put it that way.
Yeah. On my tier of all-time anime character favorites, Neji's in the top 5 somewhere. He's for sure in the top 5.
Sure. I mean that game.
I can't talk about no. In the anime and in that game, he's number 1. Like it's not even. I am not picking another character to piss you to beat you with after I picked up Neji. All right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Me and Lord Forth would like to have a talk with you then.
Look, we can.
Intervention.
Storm 4. You trying to go with Storm 4?
I can grab it. Lord Fourth is my guy though. Like
His tilt is nasty though, because he can teleport on it. But we can run some. We can run some.
Yeah,
So
record
real
this
quick,
shit.
so your boy Greg, is this your boy Greg Nick right here?
Yeah, that's great.
yes,
Okay.
that's G.
So is he talking about which Yoshi though? Is that Yoshi from Smash Brothers? Which Yoshi talking about?
Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu. Oh, okay, with the sword.
Greg's actually a problem. Like G's a Haran player, but Yoshi has a lot of tricks. They don't.
You're not wrong.
Like,
You're not wrong.
Anyway, I missed the comment.
Because we're talking fighting games, and I have controversial takes on fighting games, and games that I don't consider fighting games. One that involves just one button pressing. That's Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Yeah.
And fucking Smash Bros. But that's neither here nor there. So
again, this is a safe place. It's a safe place.
You don't count Ninja Storm as a fighting game at all? I mean, it is the I can understand because like the combo system is really simple. You press square, you move square, and it does things. But I mean, it still takes skill to be able to pull off those moves. Like you have to actually like get into attack. You have to. You've played it.
I've played it so because I'm part of the FGC and I have I don't want my car taken away and this. But like I get it. Okay, like it's fun, but we're seeing Fang play right now, and that takes skill.
True.
Timing, and putting off the most pressure is what Ninja Storm is. If I apply the most pressure first, I'm most likely going to get the dub unless you know how to maneuver out of that pressure quickly enough. Outside from that, it's like it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, in the later Ultimate Ninja Storms, when they limited your substitutes, that was more of a thing. But I mean, that's a talk.
Yeah,
that's a talk.
That's another whole episode right there. That's another episode right there.
Damn, he ain't wrong though. You start a fighter from scratch and you're already good. It's not a fighter.
Unless you're Sonic Fox. He does not count. He's good in everything.
Fair enough. Speaking of fair enough, segue to my boy Charlie Wilson.
Do all the segues today.
This is the segue show.
This is the segue show. Charlie Wilson's number one.
Oh, cool. Look.
Where is he?
Look. We go ahead. We gonna do this.
Where is he at?
The man's final move, his ultimate move.
There it is right there.
Shingoku Satsu.
Ding.
Literally translates to instant hell murder. That alone should tell you how OP this nigga is and how much smoke you don't want. He's gone into the Tekken verse and given smoke to the Mishimas. They don't want smoke with him.
Beat the shit out of Heihachi.
Charlie,
his ultimate form, the Oni, fought Ashura from Ashura's Wrath.
Don't forget Ashura's Wrath, right? Yeah,
that's not canon. I want to leave it last because it wasn't canon, but still, even if it's not canon, his ultimate form fought that nigga to a standstill. Akuma will go to any verse and give hands to anybody. He does not give a fuck.
he invades verses just to fight people.
He put everybody in a pack.
Charlie,
the original smoke guy. The original. Smoke.
Actually, yeah, he actually is original because he predates a noob. Yeah.
And you see how much smoke Heihachi wanted in that anime alone. Not even mention the game. Heihachi don't want smoke with Akuma, bro. He don't want smoke with him.
He got beat by him. He got beat in his own game by Akuma.
Piece niggas up, bro. He putting everybody in a pack and in the air. It's up. It don't matter.
It did happen. Real quick though, because I know Nick's got all kinds of thoughts. That's a grown man. Charlie, has it ever been confirmed one way or the other if Ryu is his son or of the same bloodline at all, or is it just? I don't think they're related at all. Okay.
I could be wrong. I watched videos on Akuma because I liked him. I thought he was cool out of the game. Yeah. I never was a huge Street Fighter fan.
Yeah,
but I don't think so. I mean, I could try to look it up, find a couple of videos to see, but I don't believe so.
Well, there was an OVA back in the day for First Street Fighter Alpha, where basically it was alluding to the idea that Ryu was like, you had a son, do you know anything about? It's Ryu's basically asking Akuma if it's possible that he is his son, and Akuma doesn't give the straight answer. So,
pretty much, Akuma is who Yujiro Hama wants to be.
Wow. Shade
if we keep it a buck, he is who he wants to be.
Honestly, that's hard to argue.
I don't disagree. I'm just impressed you threw it. That Shaden is nuts.
Hey, you don't want it.
But,
real quick, I also got to give Charlie some love in honor of Akuma and his sleevelessness. He wore his own sleeveless shirt today too. So well done.
Oh God, boy, what you mean?
Charlie, do the stand. Do it. Stand. Now.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta stand up backwards in the camera.
You
gotta do it.
Hold on.
Do the stand.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
Hold on, man. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
I got a bit of funny on the camera. Hold on. Wait. Gotta get into the camera and shit.
I gotta do it.
Yeah, I have performed the break.
No nigga wants smoke. With Akuma.
You think you hear like so many like sound effects and punches, and all of a sudden it's like a ding, like a someone's meal's ready at the cafeteria.
I'm gonna edit that shit in there. Answer Craig's question. I'm trying to think.
Honest female character. I have 3.
I have the answer, but it's coming up in a bit.
Off rip, I'm gonna say Tanya from Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna say there's one chick from Dead or Alive. I don't know what her name is, but she's just fine to me.
What's her name, Nick? Christy. Is her name Christy? Eddie's disciple or protege in Tekken? Christy, whatever her name is.
Christy,
I know. I know what you're talking about. She's fine the Brazilian fighting style.
Yeah, she's fine. But they all pale in comparison to my number 1. They all pale.
I was for me. I say Jade, man. Jade in Mortal Kombat.
You uncultured fools. There's one correct answer.
Who was the correct answer?
Don't say
it.
Don't say it because it might be mine. If it's one correct answer.
Well, shout out to Greg because of Barbara Gordon. Because
on God.
Yeah.
But she is the original thickness goddess of all fighting games.
Yeah, that's my number 1. So I'll go. Now that's a perfect segue actually to my number 1.
We couldn't take it because we knew it was coming.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thickness
beyond thickness. Also, she is, as Nick said, she's the OG. Back in the day when there were no female fighters in video games, when there was only one fighting game out there that mattered, it was Chun-Li, and she was laying smackdowns on everybody. And my God, that woman has aged like the finest of wines. His legs have gotten only juicier. But I mean, also she's a great fighter. I'm not whatever else, but she's a great fighter too. But yeah, Chun-Li, you can't. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing here? She's the best. I'm not about saying as far as the character. That's the thing. She's also the best segue. We actually had the best segue for her too. I am not the best fighter in Street Fighter. You know, there's different kinds of fighting styles. It's like the charging way they do it, or the half circles, whatever. I usually do the half circle characters, but Chun-Li is actually my favorite character in general in Street Fighter universe. I love her to pieces. And for those who have seen, like Nick, I showed it to Otis also. The fight scene in the Street Fighter 2 animated film from 1996, where Chun-Li fights Vega, is still to this day one of the single best fights in all of anime. Period. So yeah,
it's top 10 for sure. If you're a fan of Chun-Li, then you have, even though she got beat, I know she wins. Just as I'm talking about a fighting game tournament with Justin Wong versus Daigo. If anyone doesn't know Daigo, when you win Evo as a competitor, you must face Daigo to a 1st to 10 in Japan. There's no question. You win Evo, even if you beat Daigo, then you face Daigo in the 1st to 10.
Yeah. Now,
in the Street Fighter, Justin West is literally the number 1 reactive fighting game scene of all time.
Yeah.
The famous parry of Ken Masters versus Chun-Li. It's beautiful.
It's pretty much single-handedly saved Street Fighter 3 because before it got a 3rd strike, the game was really struggling. So yeah, it's if you haven't seen it, odds are if you're a blurred, you're watching this, you've probably seen it or at least heard of it. But the character was it Daigo that was playing Ken Masters, parried like 14 kicks from Chun-Li's fast kick at once, and it's mind-boggling to watch how it was actually done. So Chun-Li's part of history, gaming history. she, along with Ken, saved the Street Fighter franchise, video gaming franchise. So there.
Craig, sit your horny ass down somewhere. Saying that, I will also say I've seen a lot of Chun-Li, a lot of thick women cosplay Chun-Li. I'll never get tired of it.
Never.
No, I will never get tired of
never.
it.
No,
Never.
And because of that, we actually had to roll a little bit of bean footage.
Said bean footage?
And that's those old commercials. Dev, if you when you get a chance, if you go ahead and roll the video, the pics.
What video is it?
The docs pics.
Yeah. Nigga, I was. Yeah, rolling that.
All right, beautiful. I love the opening. Fantastic. The music is so grandiose. Like I try every time I hear it.
You're correct.
So the doctor this week, she hasn't played many fighting video games, but because the great one is the great one, she of course loves Chun-Li. Chun-Li is her pick, and she actually puts her hair up in those buns all the time. She works in a hospital. She wants to get her hair out of her way. And she also has I told Dev and Charlie this before, how she had, Dev and Otis this, she has a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. So she literally, when she does her kicks and stuff, she literally looks like Chun-Li with her hair up.
Why don't you explain to the people who Doc is?
This Doc, so the Doc is the lady I'm seeing, but she's also a pretty hardcore nerd, but she has a black belt, a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. She was like she's a doctor, so she did, but she also was a soldier in the army, so she was actually on war zone, like in battlefields, like as a medic, field medic, and everything too. But anyways, so she actually literally has dressed up before as Wonder Woman, as Wonder Woman, but also as Chun-Li, and she looks a lot. She definitely, that's some good cosplay. I have no complaints.
Greg, chill. We're not doing this today.
Injustice. Wonder Woman is 1,000% rebound girl. We're not arguing that fact.
Injustice, yes. I'll give you that. In Injustice, yes.
I need to play her more in Injustice, actually.
Oh, no, you don't need to play her in Injustice.
Sure.
I won't.
And first of all, Doc, Jesus Christ, this woman is talented as hell. She's a doctor, a 3rd degree black belt, and a nerd. What the fuck? Where'd you find her?
I know. She's an extreme introvert. It's like, you are literally the greatest. Anywhere we go, it's like you could destroy everyone here, and she's always like sitting in the background just chilling. It's like,
she got a niece.
Why don't you get up here and just beat everybody's asses? But
anyways, she got a niece
or auntie or sister.
We'll find a clone of her.
Jesus Christ.
We'll find a clone of her for you, but yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, man. This has been a dope show, man. It's always great to have Nick on, my boy. Like again, OG of OGs. Whenever you want to come on the show, man, let us know. This has been dope, man. This has been a great episode. Do you guys have any other closing sentiments?
Yeah, I gotta. So having a game where everybody's on the same level of skill with knowing their combos versus a game doesn't have it. Like, what's the issue there? I gotta hear the reasoning behind this, Nick. I gotta know.
So it's a FGC thing, and it's more of the welcoming thing, and we're working on that. Shout out to Rob TV, Sonic Fox, and Maximilian for this conversation. It's an old habit. It's people who grew up in the FGC who say things like that. It's putting the time in, learning your combos, being able to set up and things of that nature. It's way easier in Ninja Storm to do that than taking the time to figure out the different setups of, let's say Tekken. You have to know the characters' formats. You have to know frame data. You have to know setups. You have to know what's their openings and things of that nature. And as far as Ninja Storm, I really don't have to do that. I just have to work on timing, and that's about it. And so with who's Fang, who he was watching, I have to make sure that I don't press a jab so he can parry and then combo me into a low combo, which forces me to be carried into a wall. And then I have to worry about how he's going to set me up with an overhead, mid, or low. And so you have that thought process. Within Ninja Storm, I don't have that type of thought process. I'm just like, bet I'm kicked across after this combo across the thing, or I can just substitute out of it. And then for me to apply pressure, one of my biggest game plans is I'm going to make sure you use all your substitute jutsus within the quickest amount of time. And then after that, you have to block. Once your shield is broken, I'm on your ass. Nothing pretty much changes from that thought process of me and maneuvering things like that. And again, with the interview with the guys I just mentioned, that's, again, I was just giving you a hard time, but that's the thing that we have to get away from in the FGC. We have to be more welcoming and have more opportunities, people like that, those who are casuals and those who are heavy competitors. Rewarding people, even if they lose on their online status, make sure they get rewarded, be more welcoming, and have the purchases of that. Shout out to, I think it's, who did League of Legends? The developers of League of Legends.
You mean the
Damn.
They just did a big deal.
Is that that's not Blizzard?
Yep, not Blizzard.
That's not Blizzard.
Riot?
Riot.
Riot
It's
Games.
Riot.
It's Riot Games.
Right.
It's Riot.
If once Riot drops Project L, which is a fighting game, which is going to be free, it's going to be welcome to all people. And how they do it might change the entire landscape of fighting games as itself. In the sense of more welcoming, rewarding people, understanding the games, breaking down, and things of that nature. Street Fighter 6 is going to do it with casual inputs and competitive inputs. It's a lot that goes into it. So whenever you guys want to talk more fighting games and competitive scenes, especially when those games drop, I'm more than welcome. I would love to have Greg on here because he'll break it down even further. He is. I'm still a young buck when it comes to the FGC. Greg grew up with Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom. That is 100% him, and the people he's around. Like, he will break it down to a science, to the point where he's better able to communicate that with you guys. And if you ever want to catch us and we talk about that, Bloodline podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, plug that real quick for you, boy.
But before we let you go, we had a couple questions here. We want you to field. Mr. Nicholas, first thing first, of course, when he says FGC, he says he's referring to the fighting game community. I'm not sure if we ever said that, just so anyone knows. Also, our boy Craig had a question for you, and it is, why is your name titled Captain Terry?
So NU was a community that I built a few years back with the help of Greg, Ryan. If you want more, I definitely want to sit down and talk to you, because it takes a lot to explain. And after a while, the original 4, life hit the other 3, but it was such a vision that I wanted to keep going. And unfortunately, my brother ended up getting killed in a house invasion with 2 other people, and I had to lead on with that. And so I became the leader of the community. I'm a huge One Piece fan. I love pirates. I love the thought process of what being a pirate is in that anime, searching for a grand treasure, having the freedom to do what I want, and just enjoying the journey. And I was a leader in that aspect. And I was like, hey, just call me Cap. It was really Captain NU. But I recently walked away from NU to go somewhere else with a different project with Greg, with Bloodline podcast. But the Captain name holds tight. Also was a starting pitcher in all the teams I played. And when I pitch, people really relax on the field. They really don't expect much to happen except pop flies and grounders. Not because my skill set is beyond other people. It's just I know what I'm doing. I make it easier for everyone else to go, because I don't mind leading the team. Even though, again, Greg is like an older brother to me. He's known me since I was like 10, 30 now.
This fan mail for Nick.
So there goes my sister. I know exactly who that is. But Greg is way more. He's more of the commie aspect, intellectual person. But I was always the fighter. I always led the charge. Like, I was always going in. So it's a story, but that's the gist of it.
Right on. And of course, as our lovely guest, lovely in the best possible way, Nick said, of course, check him out at the Blurred Lines podcast. Very creative title, I like that a lot. And Nick, is there anything else before we get into church announcements you'd like to, of course, plug, or anywhere else people can find you?
Absolutely. Again, you can find us on YouTube at Blurred Lines Podcast, and you can find us on Twitch on Blurred Line Podcast. Yes, I forgot the S, and I have yet changed it. And now, since it's just a stick, just find us at Bloodline Podcast on Twitch. We're a welcoming community. We have a lot of things going. We have a new show that we produce with our boy Demigod Sean and Lady Gunner called Destiny More and More. And and my boy Otis, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? I was going to tell you what my boy Otis, where they talk about all the Destiny lore, which is amazing because I'm back into Destiny heavy and everything that comes with it. And shout out to I was on it with the live reaction of Lightfall, I think.
Lightfall.
Lightfall. It has been a phenomenal thing. And then we do live reactions to Gamescom, Evo, Game Awards, and things of that nature. And we got a lot of things coming. So if you guys are interested, if any of you guys want to come on the show, we're more than welcome. We would love to have our comic book knowledge expanded here with Shifu. I know you're a comic book guy. I know you have.
I do love creating them. Dev actually does dwarf my knowledge of comic books, but I'd love to be on the show regardless. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Absolutely love to have you on there. Craig, how do I feel about Mass Effect? There's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no one acknowledges Andromeda. No one acknowledges.
What is that? It's like saying that Ronnie Kitchen has a season 4.
Does it?
Exactly.
I didn't know
Exactly.
I do not have a secret. I'm just
because he always has a big old Cheshire cat grin, man.
Well, guys, let's get into the church announcements. Congregation, please gather around, my brothers and sisters. Obviously, if you guys want to find my brother Ethan Murphy at anything, Ethan, you would give them the promotion at echelonGnovels.com. He has a large array of mini comic books. I have a bunch of them like right above me on the shelf. Here, they're great. They're good quality. My boy Otis East also has a book within Echelon G Novels, Briarland. That is an amazing book that I've read the first issue of. So if you guys want to check that out, please go do so pretty soon. And then I myself and one of my best friends also have a book coming out with Echelon G Novels called The Son of Shaitan. So we can't wait to get that going. So we make a move. We make a move, people. Yeah. Lastly, coming up, it's a video me and Ethan have been working on for a while. We're doing a kind of a documentary on Dragon Ball and its effect on blurs in general and blur culture. So we're working on that. It's a bigger video that we've been working really hard to edit and write up and do our research on. So we can wait to get that out to everybody.
It's my fault it's taking so long. I apologize. It's my fault. That's on me. That's on me.
Old niggas, man. Well, yeah, man.
Where my eyes, boy? Where my eyes at?
That is everything that I have for the church announcements. Thank you guys for tuning in. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. So everybody, we thank you for your support. We hope for your continued support. And if you're watching this on any of the platform, we would do us a big favor if you go over to our YouTube channel at the Then and Now Podcast and give us that sub, man.
And we do have the one, obviously, with all things that are happening, we do have that one last announcement. In light of the stuff that's happened this week, we apologize. Our hearts are with you. And
some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
You tried so hard to force that trend. You know what? I was like, "Where's he going towards?" I'm
going nowhere. I'm going uphill and ice skates where I'm going.
I thought I forgot some tragic event. That's all right. Let's end this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been the Then and Now Podcast. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Greg, we getting you on here soon. We for sure getting you on here soon, brother.